Hello, Keith here with Math Fun and Games. Today we're playing MBT from GMT Games. We're doing the second scenario with all basic and advanced rules plus the optional bog rule. We're on turn 12. As usual, I've completed the spotting phase and I've completed the command phase. So to go over the situation, the Soviets do not have any tanks left. They do have two armored personnel carriers, the BTR-70s, but that's it. The Soviets also have two BTR-70s. They have two squads, one half squad, and a spigot team and heavy machine gun team. So they're hurting. Meanwhile, the Americans have 5 tanks, two M150 anti-tank guided missile vehicles, two M113s, plus they have 3 squads. So that's what the Americans have. So Soviets are down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, and the Americans have, I think, 15 units. So this game has pretty much has been decided in favor of the Americans or the NATO team. But meanwhile, I'm going to go and play it out because there's some interesting situations, and I want to try the use of smoke, firing smoke. Now, the way smoke works is all you do is you roll to see if you have it, and then you just fire it. And the maximum range you can fire smoke up to is the length of the GP ammo. So I'm going to roll for, so let's take a look at the boards. Over here, zoom in, zoom, zoom. There we go. Okay, so here's the situation on the left. In this tree line, I have heavy machine gun team. It's currently suppressed, but they're under full cover. They have not been spotted by anybody. Because they're under full cover and because they're in medium woods, these 2 units right here, you'd have to be right next to them so they're not spotted. However, in the woods itself, deep in the woods, there's a Soviet squad who is trying to give cover to this team. So there's a Soviet squad and there's an American squad. The American squad is currently suppressed. And on the surface and right outside that, there's an M113, which has a movement, so it's ready to go into those woods and provide support. Outside those woods is that spigot team and the BTR-70 armored personnel carrier. Problem is they aren't, nobody can fire them because they can't see them because they're in a gully. But I didn't have the movement commands to go around. So I gave a movement command as the Soviets, I gave a movement command to that unit. And over here, coming into the situation on the left in that woods, I have a tank moving forward. So the top one is a BTR, and there's an M150, which I gave a no command to. But the bottom one is the tank, and I'm going to move the tank into this little melee over here. So I think I'm going to have the tank take out the heavy machine gun. Plus, I'm going to have the M113 come in. But the flank, the back side of that heavy machine gun team is now covered by a Soviet unit. So over here on the right, situation is interesting. We're battling for control of a town. The Americans have a 113 in a M113A2 in a building, and they have a squad. Surrounding them are a Soviet squad and a Soviet half squad. Both the American squad in the brick building and the Soviet squad, which happens to be in a wood building, are both suppressed at the moment. Over here on the right, in the woods, we have another American squad. What I want to try to do is firing smoke from the tank, having the American squad come into the village. So I gave those 2 American tanks a fire command. Now, up above, I have 2 more tanks with move commands. I gave them separate move commands in case the tank that's in the rear gets bogged again because they're in heavy woods. the tank would still be, the forward tank would still be able to move forward. And that's it. So I'm going to roll for NATO initiative, rolls a 38. Soviet initiative rolls a 28. So NATO has the initiative. NATO fires first. So I'm going to fire. This unit is going to fire against this Soviet unit over here. And let's see. So, and that'll be a 7 with the modifier for being suppressed. So let's go to chart A. The suppressed modifier is minus 20. So 7 firepower factors minus 20. And then you have the target, which is going to be, they're in light cover, so it's going to be 4, 6. So it's going to be 7 to 6 with the minus 20 on the dice roll. 7, 6. I got 49 and an 80 by minus 20 to the dice roll. 35 is 15. That fire has no effect. All right, who else do I have for fire? So over here, I have these 2 tanks firing smoke. They're both going to try to fire smoke into that hex right there. I need a 3 or less. First one, they don't have it. Second one has it, so I can place a smoke marker right there. I mark them with their fire side. Right click, delete for the fire, and I mark them. So good thing I use both of them. Spot fire. And I'll get a smoke marker up here. Go down. Game markers. Let's see if I have what the smoke is. Be terrain, maybe? Maybe. Smoke, smoke. Smoke, smoke. So it's not a game marker. Could be a terrain marker. Yeah, smoke. So smoke on. I'm going to put smoke in that hex. Oh, it's a nice big one too. Nice big marker. So that now has smoke in it. Okay, so do I have any more fire for the Americans? Yeah, we do actually, I think. So this little thing that's going on over here in the woods. So I'm suppressed. And see, the thing is that automatically, when you click on suppression, it automatically puts it on break, that the unit breaks, but we're not using that rule, so I just have to manually move the break. Again, I can go in and change the programming if I want, but I have other things to do at the moment, like this. So we got, and this unit also is in full cover. So that's in woods, it's going to be 6, and they're in full cover. That's going to be 8. It's going to be a 7 to 8, and they're suppressed, so it's going to be a minus 20. So 7 to 8, it's going to be 58, 89. So I wrote no effect. Just right click and spot small arms fire. I can remove the fire marker from that because they just fired. Okay. All right, I think that's it for the American fire phase. Don't have anybody on Overwatch. Okay, so now it's Soviet fire phase. They're going to fire back. And they're going to be, it's going to be a 7. Didn't have those. I'm gonna say I didn't put a full cover marker on that, did I? Didn't. All right, I'm just gonna roll a die. 1 through 5, they have a full cover. Okay, so I'm gonna say they have full cover. I think I might have, but I don't remember. So let me just clone this. I can flip it to the left. Okay, so we have 7. Basically 7 to 8 with no oh yeah, 7 to 8 with no modifier. 17's, they're gonna miss too. Spot fire. Okay, who else can fire for the Soviets? I believe the unit in that village town over there. So this one, it's gonna be, and they're firing into brick buildings. Brick buildings are medium cover. So that's gonna be a 7 to 8 with a minus 20. No effect from small arms fire. Wow. Okay, I believe that's it for the Soviet fire phase, and I believe we're going into the Soviet move phase. Okay. So the only Soviet move we have is this vehicle right here. And it's going to go into the town. And do I want to move it into a building? I'm just going to leave it in the alleyways right there. It already has the mark. So that's it for the Soviet, and now we have the American movement phase. This unit right here is going to go into the woods. The thing is, I want to flank this heavy machine gun position right here. So they moved into the woods. Now I have this tank, which has a movement of 5. 1, 2, 3. I have to go on top of my markers over here. Turn right. And it's an extra. Okay, 4. I don't have enough movement points to do an overrun. That's it for that. The other unit up there had a no command. I just put the command on. And I have to remove the spot move because it didn't take any action this turn. Okay, next we have these 2 tanks. First, I'm going to roll for the rear tank. I want to see if they remain stuck. This is for bog. Okay, they're not bogged. So now I'm going to move him first. I have another. Okay, 5. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to move the other 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remove the move marker. Eventually. Okay, there we go. And I believe that's, well, we got one more move for the Americans. They're going to move into the smoke. They're going to move into the smoke. Then they're going to move into, oops. Then they're going to move into the village. Actually, they're just going to stay in the smoke for now. But let's see about their movement. So I go over here. I go American leg units. Now you go up top over here. 2 leg, unless you want to force march them, then it's 3. So let's see how many movement points. Let's go to chart B, leg. So first they're moving into smoke, a clear smoke hex, then they're moving into buildings. So smoke barrage. So it's the equivalent of a smoke barrage rather than just rope smoke. And looking at leg units, they'll add 1 to the leg unit. Now, then they enter clear terrain 1. So it's 2 to enter the first. And then it wants to enter a wood building. And there'll be another 1. So it's only 2. No, it's 2 for the first. It's 1 for the second. So I'm actually going to try to force march them into the building. Now, into this hex right here. So I'm going to try to force march them into the building. So now I have to see if they're suppressed, because I force marched them. Okay, so let's find that chart. Compelling disrupted communications. Building effects. No. Available commands. Spotting minefield effects. Spot removal. Let's go chart. Could be in the morale chart. Bailout. Weapon sight. Suppression recovery. Oh, okay. So suppression recovery. I'll have to look into that. Suppression recovery isn't automatic, I guess. I was playing as if it was. All right, hand to hand. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so you're actually going to roll for suppression recovery, and you're going to roll if you're going to want to try a quick march. So quick march isn't automatic. So 1 through 5th. First, I'm going to try quick march. 1 through 50. 41. Okay, no problem. If they failed that, they would have been suppressed. Now, whenever in this side, I didn't realize, if you want to recover from suppression, to flip it over to the next lowest level, it's not automatic. If you give a suppressed unit any other command other than a no command, or if you give it basically a command, it's plus 20. If they're under any fire, it's plus 10. We're not using defensive fire. So I have to figure out. So I'm going to have to start using the under fire markers. Okay. So I'm making a note of that. Use under fire for suppression recovery. MBT. Use under fire and suppression recovery, not automatic. Okay, cool. Let's see. So where were we? I moved him into there, and he made it. I'm just finishing up the movement. See if anybody else is moving right now. I don't believe anybody else is moving this turn. Okay. Nope. And everybody who has who I want to have under full cover is under full cover. I want that unit to go under full cover too. Clone. Shift left. Okay, so they're under full cover also. Good. Now suppression. So I'm going to roll for this now. Corner unit quality. Let's go over here. They're seasoned 1 through 60. They'll recover. However, they were under, and I'm not going to do the under fire right now because I didn't mark the units that were under. Well, I'm going to use under fire because I can remember which units were under fire. But next time I'm going to use the marker. So I'm going to add 30 to this. So they're still suppressed. That doesn't get flipped. I said I was going to do the Americans. Same thing now for the Soviets. Minus, yep, that doesn't get flipped. Okay, meanwhile, over here, this tank, they didn't do anything. They weren't fired on, and they had basically had no command. So 1 through 60, and they're still suppressed. So no one, and this unit right here, so nobody loses a suppression level. Everybody's staying at the same level of being suppressed. Okay. So let me remove this fire. So we're going to go on to turn 13 next time. So this turn we use smoke for the first time. Oh, shoot. The smoke's got to be flipped. Downgrade. Okay. So this time we use smoke for the first time. And I cleared up something. I learned I have to do, whenever a unit gets fired on that's suppressed, I have to mark it with a fire marker, the fired upon marker, because that affects its suppression recovery. And then I have to roll to see if the unit is actually flipped in the suppression recovery stage. Okay, so from what I can see, units automatically get flipped from suppression on to suppression off. However, which these guys are, in order to go from suppression off to no suppression, requires a dice roll. All right, that's it for this game. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.